Okay, what we have here is an '01 Ford Explorer, and we got a bad wheel bearing, so all you got to do is pull the tire off. I started hearing a grinding noise in here, and that's what made me think it was a wheel bearing. I jacked it up and shook the tire from left to right with my hands, and I grabbed the bottom and top and did the same thing, up and down, and you could actually feel the play in it. So what I actually did was I pulled this nut off here, fairly big socket. It is actually a 1.25 inch metric, not sure, I think it's probably a 31, and you got 3 bolts that are holding this in place. First off, I took the brake, the rotor off, the bracket to hold the caliper in place. I took that off as well, and there is 2 bolts, one that goes right here, another one on the top, and took those off, pulled the rotor out of place, and then in the back here we've got some bolts as well. There's 3 of them. There's one on that side, and there's 2 on this side, and if you turn the wheel from left to right you can get at these pretty easy. And I just broke those with a strong bar, which is this right here, and a pipe, which is right there. Helps a lot. And now I'm just about in the process of taking the bearing and wheel assembly off. So what I'm doing to get that out of there is I'm using a chisel, which I haven't actually used yet, and I'm just tapping it off. This is actually a brass hammer, so you don't have to worry about metal fragments flying in your eyes, but it's still good to have safety glasses on. Also safety jack underneath there, and it should just pop right off. It's as easy as that. There we go. Now also have this line here that goes to the ABS brakes. Now it actually connects on the back right here with a bolt, and it is, the size of that bolt is a, let me see here, well, it's 5/16 metric, I'm not sure, and this line actually connects here and up in here, and then it connects to the assembly up there, and you just pop the connector off by pressing that button right there, and that moves everything back out of the way, the little clip, and then you pull it down. And it looks like I'm going to have a little welding to do here because this is all broke. It's an old truck, and it's going to make it a little easier for me to get that out of the way anyway. So just pop that off. Now you can actually change the wheel bearing in this thing if you just want to get a wheel bearing and put that in there, or you can get the whole assembly. The whole assembly is a little easier to work with. Anyway, I'll show you more when I get the assembly and put it back together, and I'm actually going to weld that back in place as well. Okay, so now we're putting it back together. Pretty easy, just clean it out inside where the slides into, and it slides in pretty easy, moves in all around so you can line up your bolts and everything. And then just tighten your bolts down. I think I got about 80 foot-pounds of pressure on the bolts holding it in place, and then we're just going to run this cable back to where it goes. And I got a bolt here, bolts on the back side here, that piece there, and it runs along the frame. And then I'll show you more when I get it done. There we go, got the wire all plugged in. It goes around here, the bolt in there, hooks to the frame here. They gave you actually new pieces, but mine were in good shape, so I put them back, and then it hooks up in there on top of the frame, and then hooks back up into the system. And that's all there is to that. Now I'm going to hook up the bracket that actually holds the caliper and the rotor in place. And that's not how it goes. It actually goes like this. There we go, that's better. And I'll show you a little more when I get it on. Okay, there's the bracket for holding the caliper in place, and we're just going to pop the brake shoes in. I got the bolts in on the back. That's that one and that one. And when it comes to put foot-pounds of pressure that I put on them. It's best to check with your shop manual for your vehicle and go with their guidelines. I've been doing this so long, I just tighten it up as for myself. So I pretty much know what torque that I'm putting on it. If I was to guess, I guess it would be around 50 or 60 foot-pounds, but again, check the specifications because I could be wrong. I'm just a backyard mechanic, so check it out. Okay, got the caliper on, it's all in place. 2 bolts, there's one there and another one up here. Again, the foot-pounds of pressure, I don't know. I just tighten it to where I feel it's tight enough. And for you people that want to do the same thing, it's up to you. But my suggestion to you is go to the shop manual online, anywhere, and find out what the torques are on these things. Again, here's one right here. I can probably tell you it's 100 foot-pounds of pressure that I'm going to put on that when I start tightening it up. Okay, now it's time to put the tire down. Pull the jack out from underneath it. Take the tire out. That also helps in case it falls. If you don't have a jack to stick under there, just stick a tire under there. At least it'll keep it from falling completely on top of you. There we go. This is ready to go. I'm going to throw the tire on there, straighten out the wheel. Oh yeah, when you're working on this stuff, to get at the bolts in the back here, if you spin the wheel to the right or the left, it makes it a lot easier to get at the bolts in the back. Okay, now that's it for the moment. Okay, so it's time now to use the torque wrench. I don't think you can see the numbers on there. It goes up to 150 foot-pounds of torque, and all I need is 100. So that's what I'm going to use, and then I'll show you how to use this wrench. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, the torque wrench is on there. I'm going to let the tire down on the ground so that it doesn't spin, because that's the best way to do it, and you can put all the pressure you want on it. Now, this is how a torque wrench works. Do this with one hand. You hear that click? That means it's at 100 foot-pounds of torque. So that's where you stop. And then you're done. Just like I am done. Alright, thanks for watching.